So we have in fact seen the concept art of Doctor Strange wearing the armor that Iron Man wore in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. It's been out there, but the latest news actually confirms to us that Benedict Cumberbatch did actually put the suit of armor on during the shooting of the film. This means that there are scenes out there that were intended at one point to be in either of these films. Unfortunately, they didn't end up making the cut. We're going to talk about this, why the news is hitting us right now, and if there's a possibility we could actually end up seeing the suit utilized in the same way somewhere down the road, particularly in Doctor Strange 2. So we know for a fact that a lot of stuff that was intended for Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame was left out on the cutting room floor. Now this isn't just ideas or concept art or things like that. We know that there were scenes actually shot that we'll never see because they don't want them out there because they put an interesting spin on certain things. As we recently found out a few months ago, there was intended to be a scene where Doctor Strange wore the Iron Man armor and Iron Man wore the cape. Now, as it turns out, as you guys can check out the article down below, this is actually something that happened on set. They fully shot this scene, and the concept art we saw that tells us this is exactly what they were shooting. Now again, who really knows why they decided to remove this scene? My only guess would be that maybe they're saving it. Maybe they'll include it in the Multiverse of Madness as kind of like, oh look, what if one of these characters was that? Because realistically you could, right? You could put it there and it kind of makes sense in that context when Doctor Strange is looking at other realities and he sees himself as Iron Man. Again, that's a cool aesthetic thing, and it would get a conversation going in regards to the second film. Now, realistically, I think they also didn't go with this because there's still a lot of explaining you have to do with so many things. And as we learned with those two movies, when they were intended to be one film before, they split them up into shooting two different films and added in that whole gap and everything, they intended to use other characters like the Living Tribunal, for example. So again, it looks like that the film was too far big in scope for what they wanted to do. And again, what reason would there have been in the film that suddenly these characters swap? Was it multiverse? Did they actually go into the multiverse? Was it some sort of time manipulation with the past? Who really knows? And whatever it might have been, it would have taken more explaining on top of everything they're already doing. So I kind of understand why it's not in there, but it's a bummer that we had that Ultimate Marvel Cinematic Universe collection and they still didn't reveal much of anything that was really cut from these films, which we know for a fact existed.